Hey guys, Tara here. Welcome back to an episode of Mania here on BeamNG.drive. Back on the Road Atlanta circuit because I did a test run for this episode on the track from last video, and it was just not very good, let's say that much, because the AI started taking the third route around the track, which I didn't know there was a third route that they would be programmed to use. And it just didn't go very well because you have to keep switching cars constantly, so you can't actually watch a battle, so you have to make sure the AI go the right way. So either way, at the front is the Barstow from last time, but again, for the same rules as the Bitchin from a few videos ago, this car has to win to get into the next round regardless, or if it finishes or not. So yeah, because he got taken out by a car going in the wrong way, it gets a 1 round chance but has to win. So if it doesn't win, regardless of where it finishes, it'll be out of the next round if it doesn't. Second place is the Bolide. And third is the first of the 2 new cars, the Ford Falcon, the Australian version, so the better looking one. And then in fourth we have the second new car, the Kashira, I think this thing's called. So yeah, it's a minivan. It's a very fast minivan, but not quite as fast as the kind of like, I don't know, like Monster Energy kind of like style livery DH Outlaw, which is the car that needs to win to get through into the next round since it won the previous one. And then time to set off all the AI as usual, and hopefully all these AI go the right way. So let's get on board now with the Barstow. And see that thing move very, very slowly off of the line, although the Bolide went even slower off of the line. Oh no! It's rammed underneath it and it's going to spin around the Barstow. It haven't even gone, what, 5 yards, and the Barstow's already round. And although it's going to get going though in the right direction by the looks of things, although the Bolide's already gone around and that's hit on the Falcon. That's hit the front wheel, but I think the Falcon's just going to get away with that. But is the Outlaw? Oh, that's a hard hit on the Outlaw. Is the Outlaw going to be okay from that? And he's lost this little feeler thing. It manages to keep going though. Well, that wheel though, has that bit of the side of the car taking any damage? As the Barstow is still going, the Bolide I think is going to get going in the right direction. Itself back on the road, and yeah, that's going the right way. So now it's the Ford Falcon that leads, with the Kashira right up behind it in second place, and a bit of a gap back to the Outlaw. And that's the front of the car isn't looking the best in the world, but then again, it could also be a lot worse. But it does need to find a way to get back towards the lead though. He has to win to get through the next round. Okay, the back of the Bolide definitely looks a little bit worse at this point. Now then, Shire right into the back now of the Ford Falcon, which is got quite a lot of suspension movement, I have to say. And there's not too much difference in straight line speed between these 2 cars. Then again, the Kashira does have the better acceleration, being the race variant of the Kashira. And also, these 2 keep battling, slowing themselves down. That is just going to allow the Outlaw to come right back into things now, but with this little feeler thing gone at the front, it's just going to be ramming now into the ramming the front of the car now into the back of the Kashira when it catches up to it. And then the Barstow, I don't think that's going to be getting through into the next round because it somehow needs to find a way to get back into the lead, and the exhaust should not be at that angle. Now the Bolide just needs to get past it, because even if the Barstow finishes in 4th, the Bolide is still the car in last place, so that would also be out of the next round. As it now looks like we've got pretty much a 3-way fight for the lead starting to appear once again. Then you have the fight for getting out of last place brewing fairly shortly as well, by the looks of things. And then because it's Australian, the steering is on the correct side of the car in this Ford Falcon. Let's go now into the external camera, and I get a nice shot of all 3 cars now fighting for the lead of the race. That's the Outlaw though, is really catching to the back of these 2, because since it's the fastest car here, even with the little feeler thing on at the front, you pretty much, well, it's weight reduction, so you might even be going even faster now. I don't know how it's going to affect the aero, because being a rally like hill climb car of sorts, so it definitely is going to be quite heavily aero affected. And then the Kashira is pretty much the exact opposite of aero affected. It couldn't be more of a box car really if it tried, to be honest. As the Outlaw though, pretty much it's just holding back a little bit for the time being, it looks like, just hoping something happens between the top 2. Well, something's definitely happening here. Once again, the Bolide using its shape to get underneath the Barstow. The Barstow makes a bit of contact with the front of the Bolide, and the Barstow comes off second best and is now down in last place. But given the lack of trial speed that the car has, that's not really all too surprising. But the Bolide didn't get away completely unscathed from that, because yeah, the front bumper is definitely hanging a little bit lower than what it should be. as the Falcon is actually pulling away now from the Kashira, so it looks like through the S section. Of course, the Falcon is probably quite a bit lighter than the Kashira, even though it looks like a shipped out race version. It's still a minivan, which is going to be probably slower through the corners than a Ford Falcon. And then the Outlaw's now definitely gone to the back, because of course that being like a hill climb kind of car, it's definitely going to be much faster through the corners than the two cars in front of it. And now then, the Bowlight might even be able to catch up if something disastrous happens to the top three, but that the front bumper dragging on the ground could cause a few issues. But now then, coming down the straight now up into the final few corners now, the Falcon's pulled away a little bit. The rear bumpers have actually been put inside of the car. I think that's probably the least of its issues. And the Kashira's rear bumper is still attached, by at least for once the rear bumper of the car in front of the Outlaw hasn't been eaten by the Outlaw, which is a first. Now then, the Bowlight, that isn't all too far behind, so it still might have a chance of doing something in this round. Now the current final corner has a bit of contact between the Falcon and the Kashira, so the Kashira definitely better through the corners, well, better around the final corner anyway. Definitely go later on the brakes. And actually, why is the Falcon slowing down? Why is the Falcon... Okay, there's the front wing from the Outlaw. And oh my god, a huge contact. Is the Falcon going to get sent round from that? The Falcon's definitely slowing itself down as there's a fight now for the lead. Literally, contact has been well and truly established now, but I need to remove the rear bumper of the Kashira before that gets stuck in the wheels. I mean, it lasted a lap, which is a new record for the car in front of the Outlaw. Now let's get on board now with the Outlaw. So it looks like, I know I just rip off the front bumper and it usually just flies up into space, but it looks like that time it actually came back down on the track, probably in front of the Falcon, which somehow managed to keep the lead in there. But what damage has running over that front bumper done? Well, it's done quite a bit of damage to the rear with the contact. Now here comes the Kashira once again, the hard hit, and I'll send the Falcon off on a tangent. And then can the Falcon get itself back under control? No, it can't. It's going to go hard into the wall, going to crunch the front of the car. Now it's going to come back out now onto the track, is it? No, it swings itself around and gets going. Oh, that was so close to contact with the Outlaw as well. Now then, the Kashira is smoking. The Outlaw is definitely looks a bit worse than what it did, but then again, it's just going to be ramming the front of the car into the back of the Kashira. Now there's the Bastard now makes his way around the final corner. And the Bowlight, like I said, if something goes wrong, it could definitely catch up. And the Falcon's off again. Okay, I remember this car does have a lot of wheel spins. So pretty much like the I can't remember what it's called now, but you know, like the Pontiac that went from a few videos ago. I had troubles getting going with just the amount of sheer power it had. I just need to plant the power down, get it going in a straight line, and put it back now under AO control, because it should be able to go now. Well, then again, it could have spun out because of the sheer amount of damage with the car. But that should be it going okay now. And you can see the Bowlight there in the distance catching up, so the fight for third may not be over yet. As the Kashira is definitely a bit worse to wear, of course those front lights smashed out completely. But yeah, it still looks like it's doing enough to keep ahead of the Outlaw, which may have some kind of damage that we can't see. Thankfully though, he hasn't taken a hit to the side of the car, because that's where the engine is, right down the side. So one hit to the side pod, and that will be game over for it. Now then, just like even in this crippled state, the Falcon is still maybe going faster than the Bowlight. Actually, no, the Bowlight does look to be catching. And with this thing smoking away like it is, with that hard crunch it had into the wall, this thing might well give up the ghost before the end of the race. And the Outlaw now, it's only got one car in front of it, the Kashira, and it's probably the heaviest car in the race it needs to try and dispose of to get into that all-important lead to get through into the next round. Otherwise, the Kashira will be the car that takes victory as things stand. Although that front right light's definitely flapping away pretty much as the front bumper is. But the Outlaw is catching, but it's only got half a lap now to try and do something about the Kashira. I mean, it's definitely done quite a lot about the rear of it, but then again, this thing being just pretty much a box with a roll cage as well. It rams from this kind of like flimsy car. It doesn't really do a whole lot to the Kashira. Now then, fight for third. It looks like the Falcon on the straights has still got the speed to pull away. It's like he probably managed to walk around them. If you look at it from this side, it looks like fairly pristine in the mid section of the car anyway. It's definitely been like a zigzag over the sides of where the damage has, not just focused on one side, which probably been good for it. So if all damage on one side, it definitely would probably not be going in a straight line as much as it is. Now then, going through the S section, or halfway through the S section, the Kashira still has the all-important lead over the Outlaw. The Outlaw's going to be running out of opportunities now because there's not a lot of straight line speed difference between the Kashira and the Outlaw, so it's all very close between all of the cars really. In terms of hour pace, I set up the Barstow, which can't even do 100 mile an hour, compared to the Outlaw's about 160-ish, I think, mile an hour top speed. No, yeah, the Falcon's going to be suffering through here now with its damage. I think it'll be allowing the Bolide to catch up, because even though the Bolide does have damage, it's definitely a lot more aerodynamic still than what the Falcon is. Now then, coming up now on the run now, up until the final part of the lap now, it's like the Outlaw's catching, but is it catching enough? The Kashira's smoking away, but I don't think it's going to give up the Ghost. It's not smoking enough, surely, to completely break. They've only got a few corners left to go. We've seen things happen on the final few corners in previous rounds before. Now then, coming now into the second to last corner, is the Outlaw going to be able to do anything now about the Kashira? As they come now into the second to last corner, the Outlaw's getting close. It's going up to the final corner. It's going to have to be a banzai move now if it's going to be able to do anything now about the Kashira. But the Kashira, able to put the power down, is actually pulling away. Now as they're coming now into the final corner, is it going to be able to do anything? As I know, because the Kashira just throws itself into the final corner. Coming up to the finish line, doesn't look like there's going to be any final lap dramas, and it's going to be the Kashira to take victory and knock out the DH Outlaw from the next round. But I say credit where it's due, the Outlaws lasted a lot longer than what I thought it did, and in a lot better condition than what I was thinking. With how the previous open wheel cars have gone, this thing would just probably end up annihilating itself almost instantly. Is it going to make contact with the back of the Kashira? Looks like it is, and it has no intention of stopping, and gives the Kashira one final hit in the rear. Now then, it's got the Falcon, which is still just about. If third place, here comes the Bolide now with a massive turn of speed. Coming up now into the final few corners, it gives a little bit of a nudge to the Falcon. Is it going to try and go for the third place, or is it just going to settle for a position where it is? Now then, coming into the second to last corner, the Falcon just covers the racing line. It's like it's pulling a little gap from the Bolide, so maybe the Bolide's just backed off now and is accepting its fourth place, because as things stand, they're both going to be through into the next round because it's the first round for the Falcon, and the Bolide hasn't actually won a round yet, so it doesn't matter where it finishes outside of last place. And then round the final corner now, the Ford Falcon, it's just like despite its smoking state, it's actually pulled a gap, so the Falcon has definitely got the final two corners nailed for outright pace, and now this thing is doing 56 mile an hour. I don't think it's going to stop in time before it hits the back of the Outlaw. Actually, no, it is, so it's got some pretty good brakes on it. And now then, where's the Bolide? Oh, this is not going to stop in that time. It's going the same speed as the Falcon was, but it's going with a lot less distance to actually try and stop. And is it going to smash itself in? It makes contact a little bit and knocks off its own mirror. It looks like it's trying to go for the Outlaw, but I think that contact with the Falcon just about knocked off enough speed. Now then, coming up into the final corner now, the Barstow is actually too far behind, as now the Falcon is going backwards a little bit. Don't know why, but maybe just if it goes far enough backwards, it's actually going to take a hit from the Barstow, because it's definitely not going to stop in that time. Even though it's slow, but it's definitely not that slow. Now they're making its way around the final corner now is the Barstow, and everything's definitely be out in the next round as well. So that's like two new cars for the next one, so a new fastest car and a new slowest car. And the Barstow makes its way across the line now, but it's not going to stop in about 10 metres from 48 miles an hour. That's going to be quite that hefty contact with the Falcon, is it? Yes, it is. And again, these cars are two very blocky cars, so they're not going to take the most damage in the world. And that sends the Falcon into the Bolide, which then goes into the Outlaw, which is now just going to roll its way forward, but doesn't quite make it to the Kashira. I realise, despite the Kashira being a minivan, it's actually smaller than the Outlaw, so I think I've actually just realised now with the two cars side by side. And then you got the Ford Falcon, which I don't really know what it was doing going in reverse, but either way, it's through into the next round regardless. That's also a fairly big car as well, so quite a few of these cars not really to scale of how they should be. I think we've got the Barstow, which is now spoking, but then again, what do you expect from a 40 mile an hour hit on the back of a Ford Falcon? I mean, it's a valiant effort on the car, but when it gets lodged underneath, I mean, it just happened to be the shape of the Bolide, was just able to get its nose literally underneath and spin out the Barstow those both times. So the award for best surviving car, I mean, the Outlaw survived pretty well, so I definitely have to give it to that, but of the actual normal cars, probably the Bolide. So remember to leave a like if you enjoyed this video. leave a comment down below, subscribe if you're new and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Remember to follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, they'll be linked down in the description. So thanks for watching, I'll see you all next time.